Well, happy Mother's Day to all of our Python programmers out there that are mothers. Happy Mother's Day to you. So today we are going to be talking about Python strings, and it's just going to be a short and sweet tutorial. I had a good friend of mine actually suggest a few more basic things to put on here, and also the font size. So thank you, George, for suggesting that. So strings in Python are I believe one of its strong suits, working with strings, just because it's very easy. It's very pseudocode, in essence, to write strings in Python and to manipulate strings in Python. And it's very simple to make any string in Python. All you need to do is whenever you declare a variable here, just put it in quotes, and Python will interpret it as a string. Now, a thing to note, things that could be like special characters within a string, such as a new line or a tab delimiter, those will all be beforehand put with a slash here. The only way to put a slash into a string is to actually double it out. So if I wanted to put a slash in a string such as this, what I would need to do is actually put two slashes to get it in there, if you can see that. If I did not do that, this would actually interpret this as the string plus a tab delimiter here, which you can see here. So just make a note of that. There's a ton of special characters out there. I would suggest you look into those as you see fit. Tab and new line are two pretty common ones that you'll see. So yeah, so basically this is our basic string, and we're just putting in a random string of stuff. So the first thing I want to do is just show a very basic, how do we take one string and we concatenate it into another string. It's pretty easy. You can make another variable if you would like, and you just use the plus symbol to actually put these things together. We'll just add on additional text here. So our another string will actually equal our string plus this additional text, and if we run this, then we can see that we ended up getting the concatenated version of that. The next thing I want to look at is some basic ways to manipulate. There's a ton, I'll just tell you, but I'll just go over a few that I find pretty useful. So for starters, I use the strip method a lot. If you looked in the last video, we used it several times. And all strip's going to do is, by default, it is going to strip off blanks from the end of a string. So if I had trailing spaces, for example, like here, it would actually take those trailing spaces, oops, I spelt that wrong, or sorry, strip, and would take them off. But the other way you can use the strip is to actually take literal text off them. So starting from the rightmost side, if I put in an exclamation mark, what you're going to see is it's going to strip that out. If I put in more further back, it's actually going to strip those things out as well. However, let's just say, now knowing that it starts from the right, if I put in years or some other text that didn't start here, it's going to have no effect, which is why we're going to go into the next bit of example here, which is actually splitting the string out based upon its the area within the string where characters would reside. And you've seen this in the last video where we would call like 1:5 or what have you. That's exactly what we're going to do here with a little bit more explanation. So you can call a string and put in square brackets your beginning position and your ending position. So beginning, colon, ending, and what you'll get is the in between there. So if we look at the string we just ran here, you'll see that we started in position 1 and we went for 5 characters. You'll actually see a space here if that's a little bit confusing, but you'll see this, 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 and this. So position 1 to position 5. If I wanted to get everything past, so pretty much trim off, let's just say the first character, you can actually leave to the right of the colon blank and just specify the beginning of the string. So in this case, we're just stripping off that first A, and we're left with the space with all the additional items as well. The same works for the end. So if I was to just put a 5 here and nothing on the left, I'm giving the end location but leaving the beginning location as the default start. And you can see there that we just get the first, position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, position 0, you can see there. The next thing I want to look at is going to be ways to actually pad our strings as well. This is in common practice if you're producing output files. Pretty easy, and this is a pretty basic set that most programming languages will have. So we're going to first start with our left justification. So we're going to call our string again, or actually let's just use the string made up top. And what we can do is we can say we want a total of 50 characters. So if we look at this string, it's probably no more than 30 max. And what we'll get by default is spaces to make up our the remaining area, so the 50 that we might have. So if you were to actually put this into an editor or look in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, you will see it's 50 characters. Same would work for 40 or what have you. So if we did this, same deal, 40 characters. That can be, like I said, useful for some of those, especially flat file type things that we talked about in the previous video. The same can be done with our right justification. So if we run this from the right, you'll actually see it start on the left-hand side, but it's right justifying it the same amount. So if we were to look at this string once again, we would be at 40 characters. The other thing that we can do as well is if you don't want spaces, you can actually put a character in to be the pad. So if I put in a 0 there, for example, we are going to get a total of our 40 characters with, in this case, it would be 16 of them being zeros. And you can do, like I said, a lot of other cool things. Like, for example, if I was dealing with a string here and I wanted to right justify it the same length of the string, I could do something like the length of our string times 2, and we'll fill it with, let's just say 9s. And so what you'll see is the exact same number of filler characters, which is 24, as we see here of our actual string, which is 24. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of things to take in on this. A lot you can do with strings. I'd encourage you to review more. But for today, I think that is good. So thank you for watching and have a good day.